XRP holders, listen up. Institutions are about to go absolutely nuclear and scoop up 1.9 billion retail XRP tokens, and they're willing to pay up to $20 per token to get them. That's a 538% explosion from current prices. Make sure to watch this video entirely until the end, because this could change everything for XRP holders. Goldrush here from Goldrush Crypto Daily. And why do we have some absolutely massive news for you today? We're diving deep into two game-changing stories that could send our beloved digital silver, that's XRP for all my newcomers, straight to the moon and beyond. This is going to be a high-octane ride, so buckle in. Let's start with this absolutely mind-blowing article from the Crypto Basic that just dropped some serious alpha on us. According to this piece, XRP liquidity, and this guy knows his stuff when it comes to our digital silver, is predicting that institutions are about to go on the biggest shopping spree we've ever seen in crypto history. We're talking about 1.9 billion XRP tokens currently sitting in retail hands. And here's the kicker. He thinks institutions and Ripple themselves might start gobbling up this supply like it's going out of style. Now, here's where this gets absolutely insane. XRP Liquidity believes these institutional powerhouses could push the price all the way up to $20 just to convince everyday holders like you and me to part with our precious digital silver. Can you even imagine? With XRP currently trading around $3.13, we're looking at a potential 538% rally. Let me break this down for you in terms that'll make your head spin. If you're holding 10,000 XRP right now, that's worth about $31,300 at current prices. And XRP hits that $20 target, your portfolio would be worth a whopping $200,000. That's generational wealth territory, folks. But wait, it gets even more exciting. As you can see in this article, several top-tier analysts are backing this $20 prediction. eGrag, who's been absolutely crushing his XRP calls lately, just recently projected this exact same $20 target. When multiple experts start singing the same tune, you know something big is brewing. Here's what really gets my blood pumping though. XRP Liquidity dropped another bombshell. He suggested that when this institutional buying frenzy kicks off, the mainstream narrative will probably frame it as new retail investor demand. But behind the scenes, it's going to be these massive institutional players creating all that buying pressure. It's like watching the whales move in slow motion, but the impact is going to be absolutely explosive. Now, let's talk about what's already happening in the institutional space, because this is where things get really juicy. The Ethereum XRP ETF just launched, and holy smokes, the response has been phenomenal. This isn't just any ordinary ETF launch. We're talking about the first ever US-listed leveraged XRP ETF, trading under the ticker XXRP. And get this, it offers investors double the daily movement of XRP's price through swap agreements and international XRP-based products. Here's what absolutely blew my mind. Despite XRP trading near a 5-month low when this fund launched on April 8th, it still pulled in around $5 million in volume on its first day. That put it in the top 5% of all ETF launches in terms of day one activity. The demand for XRP exposure is through the roof. Sal Gilberti, the president and CEO of Ethereum Trading, recently appeared on CNBC and couldn't contain his excitement. He called the response far beyond expectations and labeled it their most successful fund launch ever. But here's the really wild part. He said the product has attracted hundreds of millions of dollars since launch, and he's giving all the credit to our incredible XRP army for fueling that momentum. Vincent Van Code, a software engineer and hardcore XRP community member, described the ETF's performance as a clear sign that our digital silver is moving closer to full-scale mainstream adoption. Mark my words, this is just the beginning of what's going to be an absolutely parabolic institutional adoption wave. But hold on to your seats, because I've got another article here that's going to blow your mind about what's happening with XRP's market structure right now. Let's take a look at this fascinating piece from AMB Crypto that breaks down XRP's recent $2.46 billion open interest flush and why this could be setting us up for the mother of all bullish rebounds. On July 22nd, XRP's open interest absolutely ripped to a record $10.94 billion after months of sideways action. But here's where it gets interesting. That momentum didn't hold, and open interest just got nuked down to 8.48 billion, marking a massive $2.46 billion wipeout in under a week. Now, some people might look at this and panic, but let me tell you why this is actually incredibly bullish. This shakeout dragged XRP down 13% from the 360 local top. But here's the beautiful part. XRP just tapped the exact same support zone that triggered a 25% bounce last cycle between mid-June and mid-July. And that previous move? It kicked off an 80% rally in XRP off its $2 base. We're talking about the same technical setup that delivered absolutely massive gains before. Look at this data here. That previous rally aligned perfectly with XRP's open interest spiking from 4 billion to 10 billion as leveraged longs piled in. If institutional and retail flow returns to XRP, this recent flush could be more of a reset than a rejection. What's absolutely incredible is that despite this being XRP's sharpest leverage flush since May, the price action is showing remarkable resilience. Back in May, when open interest dropped 980 million from the 5.74 billion peak, XRP dumped 11%. But this time around, despite a far steeper 2.46 billion unwind, XRP is only down 10%. This tells me there's absolutely massive spot bid absorption happening and underlying demand remains rock solid. The daily chart shows XRP coiling between 310 and 320, holding steady in a key demand zone. In bull markets like this one, compression patterns like this often front-run absolutely explosive breakout moves. The recent drop aligned perfectly with XRP-TTH rolling over, overheated funding rates, stretched RSI, and realized profits spiking above $1 billion, marking the largest spike since the post-election rally. This 2.46 billion XRP open interest flush was a textbook reset, and structurally, XRP is still holding firm. Here's what gets me absolutely pumped. XRP to ETH is sitting right at bounce territory. If rotation flows back into our digital silver, this could be the perfect base for a breakout above 350. And from there, the sky's the limit. Connecting these two stories creates an absolutely explosive narrative. We've got institutional demand building through ETFs, expert predictions of $20 price targets, and technical setups that are absolutely screaming for a major breakout. The whale movements we're seeing, combined with this leverage flush creating a clean technical base, sets up XRP for what could be the most parabolic move we've seen in this entire bull cycle. When institutions start competing for that 1.9 billion retail supply, and we've got this perfect technical setup converging, we could see price discovery that absolutely shatters all previous expectations. If this analysis got your adrenaline pumping like mine, absolutely smash that like button. This kind of institutional alpha doesn't come around every day, and I want to make sure every single member of our Gold Rush family gets maximum exposure to these game-changing insights. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell because we're covering the most explosive crypto developments every single day. Share this video with anyone who needs to understand what's really happening with XRP right now. And if you want more absolutely fire content like this, check out our latest videos on Bitcoin's institutional adoption and Ethereum's upcoming catalyst events. The entire crypto market is setting up for something absolutely massive. Remember, crypto warriors, this is not financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. But the data, the technicals, and the institutional momentum are all pointing in the same direction. Up. XRP holders, stay strong, stay informed, and get ready for what could be the ride of our lives. This is Goldrush from Gold Rush Crypto Daily, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll continue tracking these absolutely explosive developments. Keep stacking, keep believing, and remember, fortune favors the bold. Peace out, crypto warriors.